Hello, this is Eric and welcome back to part 4 of this tutorial series, which I'd like to call Blender for Beginners. And this time I'm going to introduce the edit mode. Now, what we've been doing up until now is working in the object mode. If you go down here in the 3D view, you can see that we have a menu here, a drop-down menu, and we can select, we have object mode and we have edit mode. And in the object mode, which we've been dealing with so far, we can manage the objects. Now this cube, the default cube, is an object, so is the camera and the lamps. But we're going to learn how to do much more interesting things than just a cube. And in order to transform the cube into something more interesting, we need to go into edit mode. This can be done either by selecting edit mode in this table right here, and voila, we're in edit mode, or you can simply use the tab key to tab into edit mode and tab out of edit mode. So tab is toggling between edit mode and object mode. But to make things a little bit more visible to you, I will now turn off the viewport shading option. I've had this set to material to show you the labels that I made for the cube, so we could identify the front side, top side, right side, etc. But now I want to have it in solid mode again, so I just move this menu right here, the viewport shading option, and I'll select solid. So this is what we started with at the beginning of the tutorial series, and we're now back to it. And we are in object mode. Now when we have this solid shading, it's a lot easier to see when we are in edit mode, because then when we don't have a material distracting us, it's much easier to, in edit mode, see all the components that make up the object. Now I've already introduced you to two new menus, the mode menu, or the menu where you can toggle between edit mode and object mode, and the viewport shading menu, where we selected the material or the solid shape. And the third category of buttons that I would like to show you in this tutorial are these tiny buttons a bit further to the right. These three. Now, starting off with the most left one, that's Vertex Select. What this means is that we're looking at the object in edit mode using the components of vertices. Now a vertex is more or less, it's a dot, and it's a completely fine representation of this cube. You could say that this cube is defined by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dots. 8 dots or corners makes a cube. And if I select one of the vertices, I can, as we discussed in the previous tutorial, I can move it by using these handles here, just like I could with the object as a whole. But now I can do it with vertices. Now the second button here is the edge select. So in this case, we represent the cube using a number of edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 edges. 12 edges can also represent this cube. And in the same way as we did with the vertices, we can also do with the edges. But now you see, in this case, we are actually moving two vertices at the same time, since we're moving the line or the edge that is created by these two vertices. And the two vertices are moved together. And the third way to represent this object is by using faces, the face select. Because this cube can also be represented by 6 different faces, or sides as we usually call them when we're talking about these kind of objects outside of Blender. And in this case, each face is constructed out of 4 vertices. So when moving each face, we also move 4 vertices. Now I said that in this case the face is constructed out of 4 vertices. Now this doesn't have to be the case. As little as 3 vertices is enough to construct a face, but it can also be more than 4. Now the last thing I want to show you in this tutorial is that now in edit mode, this object origin is no longer connected to the object or the vertices themselves. So for instance, if I toggle back to vertex mode and I press A and A again, by using the hotkey A, you toggle select all or select none. So when these are all lit up like this, you have selected all of the vertices. And when I now move all of the vertices, we can see that the object origin is still located where it was. So I have now moved the object in itself without moving the object origin. And by pressing tab again, you can see that we have lifted the whole entire object, but the object origin is still 0, which means that the location, as you can see in this N menu, is still 0, 0, 0. Now I think this is enough for this tutorial, and for the next one I will start to dig a lot deeper into edit mode and will try to do some real modification instead of just moving vertices back and forth. So thanks for watching and welcome back in part 5.